guys, it's Caitlin for Fluent in 3 Months, and today we're going to level up your Japanese with some cool Japanese words. These Japanese words are unique to the Japanese culture and language. They don't translate accurately to any other language, and they capture beautiful concepts. So they're really cool to add to your language arsenal. But keep in mind that most of these phrases are slang or casual, so you won't use them with anyone that's of higher status, or like your boss, or anyone who has senpai status. No one that's older than you. Most of these phrases are used only for your family and friends, those that are very close to you, or if you're talking to someone who's younger than you. So let's get started. Ikoyo! First up is cool Japanese words that are unique to Japan. Komorebi. Komorebi describes sunbeam through the leaves. It's that image of when the sun and the wind is rustling the leaves and the shadows are moving on the ground. Ukiyo. Ukiyo describes the floating world feeling. It's that feeling of like nirvana in meditation or being totally present and mindful in the moment. It's actually used to describe the most famous kind of art style from Japan, ukiyo-e, which was popularized by artists like Hokusai. Shinrin-yoku. Shinrin-yoku is forest bath. It's that idea of soaking up nature and absorbing nature, like walking through the forest and having all of the trees surround you. Tsundoku. Tsundoku means to accumulate, but it's used to describe people who constantly keep buying new books and never reading them, or at least never finishing them, and they just pile up unread. The second kanji in tsundoku is to read, and that implies that the person who owns these books does intend to read them eventually. So I think it's really cool that this one word captures what all of these memes describe in, 20 words or so. Kuidaure. Kuidaure means to eat yourself to bankruptcy, but it actually literally means like to be so full you just topple over. It's a really cool phrase that any foodie can relate to. Torimodosu. Torimodosu uses the kanji to take and to return, and it means basically like to give and take, or when life knocks you down, to get back up. Cool Japanese phrases for everyday life. Otsukare. Otsukare is the informal form of otsukare-sama deshita. Otsukare just means good job, or thanks for the hard work, or you must be tired. It actually translates as tired, and it just acknowledges that someone really put forth their best effort. It can also be used in place of kanpai, which is cheers. OJAMA shimasu. OJAMA shimasu means to bother someone or to intrude. JAMA is translated as to intrude or to be a hindrance on somebody. So whenever you go to someone's home, you announce yourself by saying "OJAMA shimasu," and that's just a polite way of saying I'm sorry to intrude on you. Even if you're expected, you're supposed to say this. It's just polite. And then when you leave, you say it in past tense, "OJAMA shimashita." ITADAKIMASU. Before you eat your meal, you always have to clap your hands together in the prayer position and say "itadakimasu." Itadakimasu is basically the same as bon appetit, but it's kind of used in like a reverence way, like saying grace before a meal. GOCHISOUSAMA deshita. GOCHISOUSAMA deshita is used to say thank you for this meal. And you always say this after a meal to give thanks for having the food, for whoever cooked it for you, for whoever paid for it for you, or even if you paid for it or made it yourself, you still thank the people around you for their company while you were eating. YOROSHIKU onegai shimasu. YOROSHIKU onegai shimasu is kind of like saying nice to meet you, but it has so many more meanings than that. It's kind of like, please take care of me. You're asking another person to nurture your relationship that you're building, but also it can be used like if you drop off your luggage at the airport, you tell the person who's working there, "Yoroshiku onegai shimasu," and that means please take care of my luggage, and kind of like a thank you. If you're saying it informally to someone close to you, you can just shorten it to yoroshiku. Alright, now it's time for some cool Japanese slang words. First up is yabai. Yabai is probably the most commonly used slang word anymore, and it means both awful and amazing. It's kind of also used like no way, or that's impossible, and has so many different uses. But basically you just use it whenever something is crazy. It's crazy cool or it's crazy bad. Try watching just one episode of Terrace House without hearing the cast members say yabai. Sometimes it can be shortened to yabai, sugoi. Sugoi means amazing in Japanese, but it's not always used to describe things that are amazing. It's just kind of like a really common reply to everything to acknowledge that someone said something or did something. If you see like a really cool car that you love and you're just like, ah, sugoi, like that's totally cool. But then also if someone's telling you a story, you'll be like, ah, sugoi. So it has a lot of different ways that you use it, but it always pretty much just means that's great, or that's awesome, or that's amazing, and it's really commonly used. Pretty much if anything's being said in a positive tone, you can reply with sugoi, and Japanese people do. Again, this one is also sometimes shortened to suge. Suge is kind of like the masculine form. If you're a guy watching this and learning Japanese, one tip I have for you is that any e adjective, words that end in that e sound, like sugoi or even yabai, if the word ends with the e syllable, you can drop it and change it to the e row, and it'll sound more masculine. So like sugoi is neutral or more feminine, and then guys will say suge to make it sound more masculine. UKERU. UKERU means something is really funny or hilarious, and it also means haha. If you ever use Facebook in Japanese and you click on the little reaction symbols, if you click on the laughing emoji, it'll actually be labeled as UKERU. Cho and meccha. Cho is like the Tokyo and standard dialect, and meccha is the Kansai dialect, but they both mean the same thing. They both mean very, and you'll hear them a lot. So you'll hear them say like cho kawaii, and that means something is very cute. But it can also be meccha kawaii, and that still means very cute. It just depends on where you're at in Japan and which one will be used, but both are slang terms to say very. Maji or majide. Maji and majide means seriously, but you use maji as kind of like a seriously all on its own. Majide is used to attach to another word, like majide oishii. Wow, that's seriously yummy. It's seriously delicious. Maji is a little bit more masculine. Any of the slang terms that also in the Dakuten, like ji, have a more masculine sound to them, so women don't say them as much, but that's kind of changing. Whenever I hear young Japanese women say some of these slang words, they definitely do use maji sometimes, but it's just not considered as polite and womanlike, I guess. And lastly, cool Japanese adjectives. Umai. Umai means something is wonderful, splendid, delicious. You can use it in place of kirei, as in something is beautiful or wonderful, or you could use it in place of oishii to say something tastes really good. Uzai. Uzai means annoying. You'll often hear people say urusai, urusai, which is something is very annoying or irritating and very noisy, but uzai means something is like grating on your nerves and making you really irritated. Darui. Darui means you're feeling really lazy and sluggish. It can be used to describe a lazy Sunday, how you're feeling that day, you don't want to get out of bed, maybe you're feeling very darui. Nonkina. Nonkina means someone is very cheerful or easygoing. It can be used in place of like kantana, to describe a person's personality. So instead of kantan na hito, you could say nonki na hito. Someone is a very cheerful person. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are reading this on the Fluent in 3 Months website, make sure to read the rest of the cool Japanese words. I did not cover all the ones in the article, so there are more to learn. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our language learning content. Alright guys, ganbatte ne! Mata ne!